Hello and welcome to another episode of What's Inside. Today we're looking at Adventures in Oz, a Front Porch Kids game. This one is aimed at ages 5 and up to 4 players. These are interesting because they have these little boxes with the art. There are 3 versions of this game. They have different covers. Well, 2 of them do. This one has a much different cover than the other ones. There's one that's not in one of these boxes. It's in a cardboard box. And as I recall, the maps are different. So if I can find the other ones, I'll show those to you as well. 2 of them are called Adventures in Oz. One's called Wonderful Wizard of Oz. So let's open this up and see what we got here. This is from Front Porch Kids. The website is frontporchclassics.com, and it's originally retailed for about 20 bucks. Ages 5 and up, 2 to 4 players. Level is supposed to be easy. Time is about half an hour. So let's see what we got here. The box itself is plastic, but it's meant to look like wood. Your rules are on the insert inside of the lid, so be aware of that. This could have come out somehow. The contents are 4 player pieces, 1 game board, 16 adventure tiles, 1 die, 12 Toto cards, and 4 adventure tile cards. So here's our 4 friends. Looks like Dorothy broke off her base. We'll get those out in a second. Here's the adventure tiles. There's our Toto cards. And here's some more card things, tiles. Alright, so the game board is in here. And it is folded up into smaller pieces, obviously. It's 6 parts. Let's move these over so I can get the game board in the shot. Alright, let me adjust the camera quick. So each player starts from a different spot. Dorothy starts here, Tin Man up in this corner, Scarecrow's over in the other corner, and then the Lion is down here. And of course you're trying to get to the Emerald City. The game is real simple. You move around the board, you get your Toto cards, there's Wicked Witch cards, and to win the game, according to the box lid, which has our instructions, once you've collected your 3 adventure tiles from around the game board, head to the Emerald City to collect your final adventure tile, i.e. Woodsman gets his heart, Scarecrow gets his brain, Cowardly Lion gets his courage, and Dorothy gets her house. I think that means that she gets to go home. After collecting your final adventure tile, head back to your starting space to get home. The first player to collect all 4 adventure tiles and make it back to their starting point wins the game. So you just have to go around, collect your stuff, and then get home. So, that's the game board. Game board's pretty nice quality, actually. I'm kind of surprised by that. The cardboard probably will come apart on this seam because there's a lot of stress being put on it by it being folded the way it is. But I think you could get a decent amount of entertainment out of it before that happens. And the game is very simple, so I don't think you're going to have too much problem with that. But let's look at our pieces here and see what we've got. These have more of the classic Oz look. Dorothy seems to have become unglued from her stand, so I'll have to fix that at some point. But they're little plastic pieces. Pretty nice quality, actually. More of the classic Oz look as opposed to more modern, or the 1938 movie look. The Cowardly Lion looks like he's right off some of the art from the book. And the Scarecrow's got his sack hat. And there's real nice D6 in here. So there's a little blue D6. So these are pretty nice. No Toto though, which is a little disappointing. But you got Dorothy with her basket, and Tin Man with his axe, and the lion with his mopey look, and the Scarecrow. So the pieces are pretty well crafted. Pretty happy with that. I'm a little disappointed one of them's broken, but it's the one that would be broken because it has the smallest standpoint for it to attach to the wooden base, or plastic. I guess it's plastic. Made in China. So then we've got your cards and your tiles. Let's look at these. Let's look at the cards first. They're the Toto cards. Wow, they really sealed these. Now, because this is a game for younger players, you know, it's going to be pretty simplistic. The rules are literally on the lid of the box, so it's not a hard game. Alright, so for Toto cards we have +3, so you move 3 spaces. There's part of a witch. +2, move 2 spaces. There's another part of the Wicked Witch of the West. +3, move 3 spaces. +2, move 2 spaces. Another part of the witch. And the last part of the witch. Move 2 spaces. Move 4 spaces. Move 4 spaces. And lastly, move 2 spaces. Let's see. If you get the Wicked Witch cards, there are 4 of them in total. As Wicked Witch cards are drawn, puzzle them together to form her image, according to the box here. If a player draws the 4th and final piece of the Wicked Witch puzzle, that player must go back to his or her starting point, but can keep any adventure tiles he or she has already collected. All Toto cards, including the Wicked Witch cards, are then reshuffled and play continues. So that's pretty handy. So let's move those out of the way. See what we've got here. These, I think, are just the player cards, so you know what pieces or tokens you have to collect. So, there's Tin Man, Dorothy, Cowardly Lion, and Scarecrow. On the back, Scarecrow needs his hat, straw, a brain, and a raven, or a crow, depending. Lion needs to collect this scary mouse, a crown, a collar, and his medal. And Dorothy needs to collect a bucket of water, shoes, Wicked Witch token, and her house. And the Tin Man needs a tree, his axe, oil can, and his artificial heart. So, pretty straightforward game. The colors are all coordinated too, so Dorothy is the blue character, and she needs the ones with the blue outline. Lion's got the orangish red, same deal. All his have red around them, so you can color coordinate green, of course, and yellow. So it's easy for kids to identify based on the color which ones they need, if they don't want to flip this over, apparently. And then here are the actual tokens, which are, of course, sealed mightily. And there should be 4 for each player. So there's the heart, the axe, there's the Wicked Witch for Dorothy to throw some water on, house. These aren't cut real well, so there's like a little bit of extra color on the sides. Brain, crow, So yeah, there's all the pieces that the players have to go after. The colors are nice, subdued without, being too dull looking. The art's pretty good. All the pieces are pretty thick. Pretty happy with that. It's not the highest quality, but it's definitely not the worst. These are a little cheap in my opinion, but these are bigger pieces are pretty good. The actual figures that you move around are pretty nice. Those are actually pretty sturdy looking. The one was busted, but I'm not holding that against them. That was one that would break of any of them. The cards are pretty decent quality. Not the greatest, but they are thick. Some of these are cut kind of funny, so you can see bleed over from where they were printed. Like there's like a green edge along the yellow where it was probably all printed out in one piece and cut. But I'm okay with that. It looks like a pretty nice, easy to play game for younger players. It's very non-threatening. It's Wizard of Oz, so there's not a lot people are really going to object to other than maybe the magic aspect, which would be kind of silly because magic's not real. It is aimed at ages 5 and up. The game is simple. I think it would be a good kids game, but that's just my opinion. Because it is very simplistic, it is decent quality. It'll be a good way to pass 20 minutes with the kids. You have to be aware of the tokens. These, if you're buying this used, there are 4 for each character, and the back of these cards have everything that they're trying to collect, so you can pretty easily identify which piece is missing, and you could probably just copy these and recut them if you had to replace the tokens, because they're about the same size. These are a little bigger on here, but not a whole lot bigger. So I don't know how well that's showing up on camera, but yeah. So these are nice quality. These are kind of tepid. The cards are okay. Game board's pretty good, but be aware that that one could split. Figures are good. All in all, I'd give this a pretty positive review as far as kids games go. I think you're looking at a pretty decent one. The only thing I really don't like is that this is kind of cheaply glued on the sides here, so the outer trim could come off very easily. And this insert piece might come out, but I kind of would be more afraid of this cardboard coming off than I would be about the lid itself. The bottom of the game looks pretty good. It's got the Front Porch Kids logo and the little map. Like I said, there are different versions of this game, so be aware of that. But this one is pretty simple. This is called Adventures in Oz by Front Porch Kids. Let me find a date for you here. Maybe. Nope. I believe this was the 90s. So 2007. Okay, so it's fairly recent. 10 years ago. So that's Adventures in Oz by Front Porch Kids. This is the earliest edition I've seen of this, but there are variations on it, so be aware of that. But that'll do it for this episode. As always, thanks for watching, and we hope to see you next time on What's Inside.